Welcome to my YouTube channel, and today is the first time I do voiceover with my video. So today I'm going to show you tips how to do your art and what to do with shading. And I'm sorry if I do a lot of because this is my first time and I'm not really experienced with this. So today I'm going to show you what I do with line art and how I do art in digital form from Sketch. From this sentence I said you got a clear vision of what I do. I first of all draw on paper, and after that I take a picture of the sketch and I do it, and I put it in medibang by select an image to add. So I usually use 4 pen to be 4 and 100. Why 4? Because it has more clear lines than the usual stuff. So I'm not really an professional artist, so please don't take all my suggestions clearly. I usually start with doing the hair and adding some tips to it. So it usually looks like this, then original. Oops. And I usually don't know how to draw, but this is one of my hobbies and it's okay, I guess. Usually on Instagram people say that they love my art and I appreciate it, but because of my low self-esteem, I don't actually believe it. Now, when you draw hair, it's usually by freedom, and I personally love to draw hair. Oh, Protect Alpha was put accidentally, and I'm not really experienced with drawing ears, so I just put to be hair over it, so I don't have much problems. Eyes were always a problem for me to draw, but I usually do this. Mouth are easy to draw when you do anything with it. Now, I don't do like very much on every single layer, but I usually do line art for one layer, clothes for another layer, and skin and part of bodies on a different layer. So this is usually really awkward for me right now, so please please ignore me. I'm literally not experienced, and if you hate this video, please hit dislike button because I'm an idiot. So for my progress, by now I'm going to show you how it looks. Now, what I usually do with clothes, I just draw strict lines, as you can see, and then I add some details in line art, which usually give more of normal clothes than how it actually would look in Sketch. Sketch is not really important. I mean, it is when you do a line art, but it's not really important how will it look like normal drawing or not. It's only like standing stick for line art and etc. And this is how it looks without a sketch. It looks a bit traditional. Okay, I don't know why I said that. Now, to go for this part of clothing. Oops. I usually suck at drawing hands, so please don't judge me. And yeah, my drawing hands, it's usually really bad. Water is really hot, and I think it's 32 degrees today. Now let's see the progress. It looks okay. Oh, and I forgot that my LC usually has this light purplish pink on its hair. Yeah. Oops, this looks bad. This looks really bad. This is layer 4 is what I call effect layer, because it's I usually do this and I put it on 2 because it lines will be just like in 4. This is how it looks by now. Now I usually blur effect because it looks more mystical. It's usually on 20 or 50, but I usually do effects with 20 and shading on 50, because when you do by half, it will usually look better than on 20. And if you look closely, it might if you're a big fan of Owl House, this might remind you on their uniforms, but this is in their uniform and it's okay. I will confess it did. I took one idea for design, but it's not all Owl House. If you go on my Instagram, you will probably find Gardenara uniform that it's not from Owl House, like from St. Abigail, from other St. School. I forgot how its name goes, but don't blame me. Okay, I just realized he's wearing heels, but I thought that was boots. This is how I usually draw boots. Now he looks sick. Okay, I'm going to do something else with this. As I said, the sketch doesn't have, when you do line art, it doesn't have to be by sketch. It can be whatever you want. And this looks more normal than what I did before. Let me just fix this line. I usually use this eraser that's called ink eraser. And I really suck at talking with camera or with voiceover because I really don't have experience with it. Now we finished my OC. Now we have to do the Solus. If you don't know what Solus is, it's one of my Narniana creations, and Narniana will be my new comic on Instagram, and I probably will put it on Webtoon because why not? And Solus is like a spirit that is can be summoned by Oracle or Summoner. As you, they usually they're like black with purple glow, and they are like Abomination from Owl House, but they have more things that are not in common with Abomination, but there is one thing. They can be summoned. And what I love about Soulless is that they are usually, from my design, wear masks. These masks represent what they were when they were alive. This one was probably a healer. And we're almost finished with line art, and after that I will go for effects to do this circle here. So let's have this third cloth on them, and that is pretty neat design that I did yesterday, and I think it looks great. Now, soulless can possess person, and they're really strong. Even though you can summon the soulless, they usually have the mind of their own, and even though they can listen to you, they can choose to not listen, and that's why they are really tricky to control. Now let's see what it looks like. It looks great. Now let's do the effect. Now, when I finish the sketch, I usually to delete this layer because I don't really want to do with anything more with it. Now we will do the same color as it is here. I think it was this one, and nope. And now let's do, oops, I returned wrong layer. Now let's do this. And blur. Oops. I think it's a little bit darker, but we will do that. Now let's go to do the colors. Colors I usually for do different things. First of all, on this one we will do the body parts, and after that we will do clothes. And I'm sorry if you hear my dogs, because they are idiots sometimes, and I sometimes want to crack their necks. But they're good when you meet them in person. To be honest, today is really hot, and I really hate hot weather. I'm more a winter and autumn person, but what can we do now? Wait for school year. If you don't know, if you live in Croatia, school will start in 19 days, and I really appreciate it, because I'm going to high school, and for me in Croatia we have like different tracks um, for different jobs, and I got in the hairdresser's track, and I really hope that I will have great teachers. Now, for the skin, you usually please don't put it on canvas, do the layer. And this is why. If I had to put it on canvas, it would be different, real different. And look at for yourself. This is the problem when you put it on canvas. You have the vine divided, but if you put it on layer, you literally have that layer selected, and it will color only selected parts. This is that one part that I was thinking about. It's this bright color, almost like neon purplish pinkish, and boom, it will look like this. Now I usually go select image from my other artworks, and this one has the closest. Oops. No. Now let's do this. I really hate to. I'm going to start hate doing voiceovers, because I think I'm going to stop. I sometimes hate my dogs. I'm more of a cat person than dog person, and for me, cats are calmer, and they are more of, how should I say it, more tidier than dogs, but we cannot choose what the dogs will do for us, right? And yeah, this is more of a shade between purple and blue, and I think this shade is pretty good, and I hope that you like it too. Oops. Oops. I'll look at it later. Now let's. I'll just stop for a second and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and okay, to be honest, I don't know how to fix this like part and white parts, but there is one thing that I usually do. I put this the line art over the this is what usually looks like without the sketch. I mean line art, and it's really white, am I right? So I usually, to distract it, I usually take this color that I selected and just draw like this until it looks perfect. This one takes more of time than usual and it's really an annoying part, but it pays off because it looks more cleaner, tidier, and more naturalistic. To see how this slow is. Now look at the difference between this one and this part here. This one here is more whitish and more unclean. So I'll add this few. Oops, I did something real bad. I had to go here. Now I usually put here pen to be on 10. And you see it gives more bigger effect now. Oops. It looks more tidier, and now look at this. This one looks more normal and looks more cleaner. And when we go here, we have to do with this what we have to. Here. It looks better now, and now I'm going to do for other clothes part, and this takes really long time, so please don't judge me. And look how this sleeve looks better than this one, and that's pretty unique. This is pretty unique and boring method, but we work what we have now. I don't, if you're wondering what tablet I use for drawing, I use Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Lite, and I really enjoy it. My mom bought me this one, and I'm really thankful. And for this time on, it really showed that it's good, and you can download any social media on it and everything you need. Now to do this belt thingy. Oops. Just use my markers there. Oops. Do you see how it looks more cleaner, and oops. Do you see how it looks more cleaner? Now it looks more normalistic. And if I did this, you see there is no more of these white parts. This looks fun. Now to do the legs. I mean, legs look more or less good, and this takes. Now my mom usually asks me what am I doing on tablet, and I usually draw a lot, and to be honest, she kinda thinks I'm doing something illegal, like every other parent, because they have this some sort of phobia, and they don't realize that we kids usually do what we want because we are free to do it, and they live in this like prehistoric time. Just joking. My mom is a pretty modern woman, and she sometimes doesn't understand that I want my own privacy sometimes, but she thinks that because she's not controlling me or something like that, and that she's just giving it to me. No, she just thinks that controlling my tablet or something like that is like giving me a privacy, and I don't know, she's just a confusing woman, but she's okay when you meet her. Now to do this, it's okay. This looks fun. And now to do the things that I needed to, because I think this Solus was a healer. I'm going to give it dark blue, like tears. Sometimes the app glitches and it doesn't do what I wanted to do, but it's okay. Now we did Solus and my OC, and now just to take this eye color. Now I'll need a sketch again, but I realized that I deleted it, but that's okay. Oops. Now to do the shading, as I said, I usually use shading on 5 on this one, and I usually put it on 50. I just realized that I was talking for 30 minutes straight, and this is the record for me, but my friends would say that it's not, because they think I can talk all day if I wanted to, but I cannot. I'm usually a silent person, but if someone has this interesting topic, I would start talking a lot, and that's probably why they think I can talk a lot. But to be honest, I really don't like to talk much, because it takes a lot of energy for me, and I'm sometimes pretty lazy person. Now, if you look closely, this is what happens. What I do with when I do shading, I usually put it like this, because I have clear version of the line art and where I should put shadows, and this is kinda helpful sometimes. And always look where is your light, choose where your light is going on, because now I'm going to put it to go from here, and this part from where shadow is going, where light go, will be lighten. So this part here will be full of light, and that will that will be what is important. Now this part here will be full of shadows, and this ghost is already a shadow itself. So yeah, Now to remove this arrow, and you need to understand that putting shadows is sometimes really hard, and it's usually stupid. Sorry for this, because shadows are really tricky thing to do, and I usually this like new method that I'm using right now, it's called, I call it line shading, and line shading can be sometimes helpful, because if you choose to, for some places where you cannot put clear shadows, I'll just put, you can just put lines, and it's really helpful. And I started using from yesterday, and I just realized it was great. Now if you look closely, you see, just to remove effects. Now I usually blur it by 20 or 50, but I'll put 20 now. Okay, I'm going to put it on 50. Now look closely. It gives, as you can see, it gives a little much more detail to it, and I recommend it. Now to finish this art once and for all, pen. And now to blur it. You see how it takes form. It looks more better. And now, since the effect, oops, since the effect is like glowy thingy, I will put pen on the color that I used and put it like here. And now to use blur again, and you see how it has this effect. Now to shade a bit this like cool soulless pink. It's on blur. Now I put it like there's a marking on them to look more interesting. When I blur it, you'll see why. And Now I do this and I will. And there you have it. My drawing, my artwork on how to create, how I use everything in my art. And I will save it. And thank you all. Follow me on Instagram, IvanArt15 and Ivan Angel. And this is my, and thank you all. Now, goodbye.